Hello, today we are going to talk about the pelvic floor. Most of us have heard this term pelvic floor, but I am sure very few exactly know what this pelvic floor is. Pelvic floor is a diaphragm of strong muscles which is helping your contents of abdomen to be protected in its own space. Like because of the forces of gravity, the contents of the tummy would otherwise fall down if pelvic floor is not present. Pelvic floor is a very important organ for men as well as women, but generally, in women, pelvic floor disorders are quite commonly seen because the pelvic floor of women have to undergo injuries during the process of delivery, scientifically called as parturition. So, today we are going to know how to protect your pelvic floor, especially in cases of women. Now, pelvic floor, as have already seen, is a muscle diaphragm, muscles of which are already in the state of contraction 24/7 throughout your life. Whenever they are exposed to more strain and stress, the muscles would give up and the pelvic floor disorders would start showing up. Now, the conditions where muscles are exposed to the more strain and stress are anything which increases abdominal pressure, that is, chronic coughing, chronic sneezing, abdominal tumors which would increase pressure in the abdominal cavity. Pregnancy is a very common cause where you see insults to the pelvic floor. During parturition also, because a big baby comes out through the muscular gap, there are injuries to the muscle as well as the nerves supplying the pelvic floor, and that injuries would later in life show up as pelvic floor disorders. Now, which are these common pelvic floor disorders which one should be aware of? These are leakage of urine, leakage of motions, prolapse of the organs, that is the uterus, the bladder, that is urinary bag, as well as the rectum, would fall down through the introital opening. All such disorders are quite common in women to different degrees of extent. And unfortunately, many women are not aware that the treatments are available for all these disorders. So here at Ankura Hospital, we have world-class facilities available wherein we offer treatment for all kinds of pelvic floor disorders to whatever extent they are. As well as we have a full-fledged cosmetic clinic here. So under the Department of Pelvic Floor Reconstruction and Cosmetic Gynecology, we offer varied services for all the problems of pelvic floor, especially to women. So please feel free to contact us. The common symptoms which women face throughout their life are leakage of urine while coughing, laughing, or lifting heavy weights, leakage of feces while lifting heavy weights, or do not have adequate control on uh, fec- do not have adequate fecal control, or women face problems during intimacy, that is lack of sensation in the vaginal area as well as looseness in the vaginal area are very common problems which women generally face. So you don't have to suffer through all these symptoms. Even if you have mild symptoms, we have solutions for that. Please feel free to contact. Now we know what the pelvic floor is and what the job of pelvic floor is. We must know how to protect our pelvic floor. So as we know that pelvic floor is a muscle, which is a very strong muscle, and this muscle is always in the state of contraction. So like your heart or like your lungs, this muscle is working continuously from your birth till death. So we have to take care of this muscle as much as we take care of our heart. So what are the things by which we can take care of our pelvic floor so that we don't face any pelvic floor disorders in later life? Most important is nutrition. Muscle is all proteins. So you need to have adequate proteins in your diet so that your muscles structure and its function is maintained well. As well as there are few food items which are directly hazardous for the muscle health, like sugars, maida, bakery items, all the junk foods which you know of are directly or indirectly related to weakening of your pelvic floor. Exercise is another important factor for maintaining muscle tone. As we exercise in gymnasium for maintaining muscle tone of our biceps and triceps, there are few specific exercises which are known as Kegels exercises, which would help maintain tone of your pelvic floor muscles and would help you avoid pelvic floor problems in later life. To know more about Kegels exercises, you can either find it on Google or contact your gynecologist who would be able to guide you how to do these exercises. Second most important thing is not to add any substances which would cause injury to your muscles, like alcohol and tobacco, which are commonly consumed in excessive quantities in modern lifestyle. These are directly hazardous to the health and strength of the pelvic floor. So if you are able to take care of your pelvic floor by following these simple guidelines, probably you won't have to meet us for any problems related to the pelvic floor. And despite that, if you have any, we are always there to help you out. In case you have any queries, or you can put your questions in the comments below. Thank you so much.